Hey everyone, this is Gilberto from Maverick Media Lab, and I'm here with Nathan Texada. He is a mortgage loan officer from Texas, and he's going to be covering how he's been able to get four solid agents that send him consistently about two deals a month. Nathan, thank you for sharing your time here with us.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. And just so that everyone has like a bit of background on who you are, can you tell just whoever's going to be watching this video a little bit about your background and who you are?
Yes, I'm Nathan. I'm with Guaranteed Rate, and right now I've been in the business for about 7 years, and just was working. I work with agents quite a bit, and that's how I get my clientele. And just wanted to gain a few more agents to work with, and that's me right now.
Nice. And I'm curious to know, what was some of the things like before you had started working with us, like what were some of the challenges that you were facing when it came to like growing your referral partnerships? What at the time, like what were some of the things that were kind of like hindering you from growing your referral base?
Well, just kind of it's what I work with is agents, and of course with cold calling, at most of the time they don't want to hear from us. They don't want to go get
Yeah.
lunch with you or different things like that. So unless you got something to give them.
Exactly. So it was kind of getting that initial meet, like it sounds like you were doing a couple cold calls, and just getting that initial meet was kind of like the biggest thing. Like people were just like giving you a lot of voicemails, not interested, like that kind of stuff.
That's correct, definitely.
Gotcha. Was there anything that you feel was also like a challenge at that time?
That's really was the main one for me, because once I'm able to get your ear, or really get to sit down or something like that, and we're good. Main was really just being able to get past that initial phone call of the interest, right? So once I was able to get warm leads from you all, it changed.
Gotcha. So it was more so about just getting in front of as many warm realtors as possible, like the ones that are actually like interested, right? Because before, like going cold, like it was kind of, I'm assuming it was probably was it like a huge waste of time when you were doing like the calls and just like not getting anything? I would assume
Can't
it's
say
like,
better than that. It really was a waste of time.
yeah. And talk to us about like the results, because I know people always like to hear about what were you able to get from us reaching out for you? Like talk about the amount of appointments, referrals, deals, all that stuff.
So when I first started, I did this for 6 months, and when I first started, I was working the system like it was supposed to. I was able to get 3 agents really in the first 2 months. And then I slacked off myself. So that's just a testament to, if you work it, it'll work. If you don't, it won't, just like anything else. I was able to pick up 4 in 6 months, and they send me, about a deal every other month. So I get about 2 deals a month. So it pays for itself. That part isn't a concern. So it's just really about what you put into it. And, I had some things come up in the last few months. So I didn't work it like it was supposed to, and it showed. But as long as I was able to follow the structure that you all created, it worked out.
Yeah. And what was, because I know, I'm sure you probably get, in the 7 years that you've been in the industry, probably get a lot of marketing emails and a lot of people reaching out to you. So what was it that made you want to pull the trigger and decide to work with us as compared to like other options that you have?
Yeah, it was honestly, it was time for me to put more marketing dollars into where I went. I had my marketing dollars open, and this wasn't as expensive as some that'll come to you. It was kind of scary at first because I didn't know who you all were. Even doing my research, it was a little scary. But once I jumped into it, like I said, it paid for itself pretty quickly.
Nice. And that was that kind of like for you a big kind of shift? Was this kind of like the first time you had invested marketing dollars, or had you also had previous experience in doing that?
This was a first time, but I've paid attention to people that have done it before.
Okay.
And so, I knew what I wanted to spend, and you all were there. It was a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but, I knew I needed to do something to grow. And so that happened. So we're good now.
Okay. So it was kind of like that first one, like the the first marketing company, and then that was sounded like good experience. And it was due to like really putting in the work. Like, it sounds like you really took it like super seriously and followed like the process that we laid out. And then from there, you're really able to like maximize on those marketing dollars and far exceed like the ROI as well. Definitely got your money back a lot more from it. So that's really, really good. One thing I was curious about too, like what would you consider from like the parts of the program, like the most valuable part of everything that we've been able to do for you?
I mean, it really gets no better than being able to contact a realtor and we're both on the same schedule. I mean, that's, it's literally not a waste of any time. If you tell me we have a call at 2:30 on Thursday, that's what it is. Both sides know it. And if someone misses it, we can always reschedule. The realtor can reschedule. I can. It's a million different ways to handle it. So having both sides on the same page is beautiful.
And I'm curious, like once you called them up, were they like, how warm were they? Like were they expecting the call? Like what was like the feedback once you did call them and when
Yes.
the appointment was set?
Yes, they were expecting the call. It wasn't nothing. I didn't have to introduce myself, even though I did. They knew who I was and was waiting on it. And they had the questions that they needed to have and different things. And they were responsive to my questions.
Nice. And when you got results like in a really good amount of time, you said like within that first 2 months you got like 3 agents. In what time frame were they already sending like that first referral for you
So
from the agents?
so last year was a slow year for everybody, right? In the mortgage world. So they would send you some pre-quals early, within the first week or so at max. And and would you get a deal from them right away? Probably not, because of the market, right? But at the end of the day, you get these pre-quals and different things, and eventually they just start tapping in. And so once you get the pre-quals and once you do what you say you're going to do as an agent, as a lender, then everything else takes care of itself.
Nice. And just for context for whoever's watching this, like at the time, the time that you're talking about is like when the rates went up, right? Like that was kind of around the time that happened. Gotcha. And for the person that might be like researching us, or they might be looking at this video now after like being on a call or about to hop on a call with us, what would you say to that individual that's considering pulling the trigger on this and starting to grow their referral partnerships?
Well, if you've been making cold calls, you know how it is. And if, this company will, send you leads that are warm leads, and literally they've talked to them, they've done all the dirty work. So by the time you talk to the agent, they know who you are. They know what maybe not what you can bring, but they have an idea of what the conversation is going to be about. So it's not like a scam call, a spam call, any of that. You're really talking to an agent that's expecting to talk to you. So that matters.
Nice. And any final thoughts that you wanted to share on the program, or anything else that you feel loan officers should know about the Realtor referral program that we have?
Yeah, just make sure to be honest with what you're looking for. The initial call that we'll have between yourself and the company, make sure that you tell them exactly what you're looking for, how you want it to work for you, because everybody's different. So
nice. Love it. Nathan, I really appreciate you just sharing your feedback and sharing your time as well. I'm super glad like the results that you've been seeing are like phenomenal. I know you had initially started like more than 6 months ago? And you're still now like getting those referrals from those 4 solid agents. So I'm sure that's done like a tremendous impact to add, that amount of business over the span of like a year, the next couple of years. So I'm super happy and pumped about that.
That is correct. Appreciate it.